What is going on, everybody? This week we have been getting the teasers for the new Knight Codex. So Saturday we'll go on pre-order, and everybody on YouTube who gets an advanced copy will upload their videos to let us all know what's inside. If you've been following along on Warhammer Community, this codex looks like it's going to be a game changer. And I just wanted to talk about a few new things it's introducing to Warhammer 40k. Definitely killy, and these are all killy related. So it's going to be the new big Imperial Knights, the new class. I believe they're going to be about $160, $170. They're bringing a lot more firepower than you're used to, but all with interesting weapon rules. They have one gun that does 3 die 3 damage. I think that's new for 40k. I'm not sure if the... I know the Shadow Sword is 2 die 6, but this one is a minimum of 3 to a maximum of 9. And I really wish a lot more things in the game would have this mechanic. Like a Chaos Spawn, instead of having D6 attacks, should have D3 plus 1 or D3 plus 2, that sort of thing. So they're just starting to introduce that kind of mechanic, which is very interesting just for the future of the game, because they do know that that could exist in the game, you know, using D3s. The Harpoon gun is a flat 10 damage and does D3 mortal wounds to the target. So that makes it an 11 to 13 damage gun. Pretty cool. Now you're thinking, it seems when you first read it that it might be a little overkill or weird that a 10 damage gun also does D3 wounds, mortal wounds. But I think it's in there to give it just that little extra if it has to shoot a non-vehicle, non-monster that it's best against. Because potentially it could still kill 4 1-wound models, or 2.5 2-wound models, or 2 3-wound models. You know, so that's kind of interesting to think about, that even it's a one-shot gun, but potentially if it was a 5-man tactical squad, you could kill 4 of them. Kind of cool. They're also introducing a 3 die 6 flamer that auto hits with 2 damage. That one I'm a little worried about, because they've already shown that one of the Knight houses can actually run and shoot heavy weapons like their assault. So that guy running and shooting a 3 die 6 flamer is a little dangerous for the game. I don't know how cheap. I don't think he's going to be cheap to where you're going to see multiple of them, but you might see 2. But I don't think you'll see 3 or 4 on the battlefield. So we'll see on that. They also have a very interesting hunter-killer missile. It's called a shield breaker, I believe. And they have a stratagem to go with it. So these are 1 shot per game and only 1 per turn per knight. But one of the knights can use this stratagem and target a character out of line of sight with a missile that ignores invulnerable saves. Which means your knight has a chance to kill the Dark Angel's ancient, banner guy who's letting all the Hellblasters shoot you after they die. You have a chance to just flatten him with a missile first, and then kill all the Hellblasters with your flamethrowers, or whatever, right? You have a chance to kill Gilliman without having to, necessarily fight through the whole Ultramarine line. Now, whether or not you'll be alive long enough is yet to be seen, but what I was trying to tell people when this was coming out, and I think I'm the only one who mentioned it, so that makes me very, very smart, but how could this codex be bad when you're going to put like 15, 18 stratagems on 3 units? Right? Like, as far as we know, there's just Baby Knight, Imperial Knight, Daddy Knight, Big Knight, right? 3 units. Yeah, you can call them different things based on what they're holding, but there's just 3 units. So all of those stratagems are going to be super good. Possibly, I guess. Some of them could be more narrative, but I'm thinking they're going to get like, overcharge the weapon, shoot again, or add +1 damage to a weapon, or run and charge, or, so on and so forth. I think they can already all run and charge, but not the little guy. So just imagine if you took 3 powerful models, and then you got to somehow make a team of people come up with stratagems that are going to be useful for these already powerful models to make them better and worthwhile using. It's going to be very strong. Now, the Codex likely is going to be balanced on the fact that the Imperial Knights will not have a lot of command points. This is what GW's probably thinking. But somehow they're going to ignore the fact that the Imperial Guard are very cheap and bring a lot of command points to the table. So what I think you'll see is about 1,500 points of Knights, whatever that means, or more, as much as you can get in there. And then the Imperial Guard detachment. Or maybe an Imperial Guard detachment with a Shadow Sword, plus your own big Knights. So now they're looking at you like, well, shoot, I want to kill your big Knights with my big stuff, but that Shadow Sword's going to flatten everything on the board. Because that's just what it does. So it's interesting. The Shadow Sword, I believe, likely will go up in points in the chapter approved because of its popularity. Also, let's take... Oh, one more thing on the Big Knight. Super, super interesting. It's almost like GW pays more attention when they write the rules. But the Big Knight is Weapon Skill 4, Ballistic Skill 3. If Forge World wrote the Big Knight rules, he would be Weapon Skill 2, Ballistic Skill 2. With a 4-up invul and 6-up Feel No Pain. Not just a 5-up invul against shooting attacks. You see the difference? You'll start to realize this when you pay attention. So anyway, the Knight hits on a 4+. We don't know if his kicks are going to be equal to the Imperial Knight's kicks. I also think there's potential that it will be changed because the kicks are so much better than the melee weapons. There's just no reason at all to take the melee weapons unless you're swinging on another knight, and even then it almost seems better to kick the other knight. Take it where you will. The interesting thing, though, is the armigers don't have a great place. Like, I've been having a lot of fun with mine, and I'm excited to see what the other one's holding. If it just has 2 auto cannons and it's just shooting 4 strength 7 shots, I have chicken walkers for that and my Adeptus Mechanicus. But if those long barrel guns are like 2 die 3 flamers, and it's running around flamethrower and melting heretics, that sounds pretty cool. So I think you're definitely going to see a big impact next, or I guess 2 weeks, whatever, when the Knight Codex comes out, because all the Imperium are going to have a whole new toolbox and a whole bunch of stratagems for one model, right? They can take one Imperial Knight. Maybe he'll get access to the double gun option that the Renegade one gets. Maybe his hand-to-hand will get better, whatever. Maybe he'll be able to make one a beast in hand-to-hand. You'll definitely be able to give him Warlord traits and relics, and they're going to have a list of them. I'm just going to throw this out there, but it's possible, although I'm pretty sure they would have leaked it by now, but they could have a Psychic Knight. And that's just me throwing something against the walls. But, and I think they would have leaked that a long time ago, had that been the case. But it does seem, it is possible one of them could be a librarian pilot type situation, a psyker pilot. So be on the lookout for that. You could be playing your, say, 1,400 points of whatever your favorite faction is, and let's say the Big Knight's 600 points. Now you got a whole army, plus a giant gun fortress, and a whole book of stratagems to use on them. So, everybody, if you're curious, it's exciting the way they're actually implementing D3s and, flat damage plus some. They have it previously on things like the AdMech. If you roll a 1 or a 2 on the neutron laser, it's still 3 damage. Things like that are always interesting because it makes things more consistently powerful if they're supposed to be powerful. Not like your las cannons and melta guns that always, roll a 1 or whatever. Oh, another interesting thing is you're trading, when you're taking those shield breaker missiles, you're trading having mini battle cannons that shoot 2 die 3. I want to say 2 die 3 shots. Or maybe they were 1 die 6. I should have looked this. I can't remember. But anyway, they're like strength 7, AP1, D3 damage battle cannons. And you can have 3 of them. Plus, melt-a-gun nipples. 4 of them. Or whatever other option, maybe heavy stubbers. So I think people are going to try and find whatever their favorite gun is. And then how to make them super cheap. But then maybe include that missile for maybe that lucky shot on your general or whatever, your Farsi or Yvraine or whatever, the Eldar cat lady. She's gonna have to survive these missiles once a turn, no line of sight. I think they're pretty close to infinite range. I'm not sure on that, but I bet they're 48. So can the Dark Reapers kill the knight before he does it? Probably, they usually can, but now he's got 28 wounds. So, and I'm assuming there's stratagems for defense, not just all offense. There's going to be defense. There might be a stratagem of like emergency smoke blasters, -1 to shoot them for a turn, right? Or maybe a relic when vehicles target him, -1 to hit him, or non-vehicles target him, something. Who knows? I guess Dark Reapers wouldn't bother with that because they just hit everything on 3s. But it's interesting. Super exciting time to be playing Warhammer. I'm here at the painting desk working on some Death Watch, some Imperial Guard, and I joined on the Hobby Hangout Facebook group. There is a miniature trading program, I guess. So I'm going to be painting up the Doom Seeker. I primed him up. He's the Fire Slayer dwarf. I sold all my Fire Slayers, but I still had him from... I think I had 2 of him for some reason. So anyway, I'm going to be trying to paint him up really good. So we'll be doing a showcase video on that. I'll be doing a showcase video coming up on my original Eldar models that I painted. So I think you'll want to see how silly those are. I've been going a little slow on the eye guard here, the Vostroyans. There's so much little gold trim and stuff. But also, I've just been having a problem figuring out their bases. But now I've kind of committed to something and I'm making progress. And I got like 5 Primaris Deathwatch guys. They're really dark gray, so it's just going to show up as black on the camera. But they were coming out pretty cool, and I've been playing around with their guns. So that's all I got for right now. Let me know what you're excited about with the new Imperial Knights Codex coming out. I am very excited, but I'm also always a little skeptical because I don't like when things are like a no-brainer. Like, is there, sometimes there's always a downside, but this is a book with stratagems, warlord traits, and relics, all to benefit a large killy vehicle. Things like a shadow sword only have minimal things that can protect it, and some of those are psychic powers you have to cast. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes up. Your I guess tournaments or whatever, right? I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna buy one. My birthday is July 30th, so if I'm gonna buy one, it'll be around then, unless I fall in love with it. But I really, really need to make some big progress on my eye guard and stuff that I've been working on. I picked up some Scions. I bought a Scion army. I don't remember if I told you guys, but I already had a big eye guard army that I've been working on. And then I bought a guy's big Scion army. And I think that puts me up to like 110 Scions and 11 Taurox primes. So, hopefully, I can trade some of those to somebody for things I want, because I don't think I need more than 6 or 8 Taurox primes, even if I'm running an all Scion army. I'll probably keep enough to be able to run the all Scion army, But I'm not sure if that's even necessary because I have about 60 Vostroyans. So, and like 5 Lehman Russes. So, I don't know. We'll be putting up some stuff on eBay tomorrow, which will mostly include my Dogs of War. So if you're interested in buying Dogs of War, old fantasy models, you could check my eBay. They will be priced, pretty high because they go for a lot of money on eBay. So I'm hoping to get rid of all of that, and then I got a big red metal toolbox that I hated carrying my armies in because it gets so heavy. That might become my army box for the Vostroyans. I'm not sure yet because they're all metal, so they're gonna chip unless they're magnetized to something. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but hopefully we can figure out a better way. I will talk to you tomorrow.